It's the Auburn Tigers going on the road against the Texas A&M Aggies. It's an SEC showdown. The Aggies are 6.5-point favorites. Over under currently set at 52.5. Very popular number this week, the 52.5. Seeing it in a lot of the big games all over the board. The Tigers are coming off of a loss, one that Auburn fans I mean, for a lack of better words, have been bitching about, and I mean, rightfully so. We I'm not going to sit here and get on this long spill about the rule book and all this and that, but it was obviously a bad call. There's bad calls every game. This one cost Auburn a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? It allowed Oklahoma to score. Um, the the refs, after going back and rewatching it and watching some replays, that wide receiver checked in with the ref on the sideline, like right before the play was snapped. He literally looked at him and was like, "Yep, I'm on." And the ref's like, you know, like, all right. So, eh, and apparently Oklahoma told the refs before the game what they were going to do.
Hmm.
So, um, pretty interesting stuff there. I I guess what I'm kind of getting at is, I think for us that are sitting at home, we get to sit here all week and talk about this, and it's not going to affect the game at all. Auburn, on the other hand, I hope they're not sitting around talking about it in the locker room or around the practice field this week, or you know what I'm saying, and because it can go one of two ways. It can be spun negatively throughout the team, right? Or maybe it's motivation for the Auburn Tigers here. Nevertheless, the opponent that you're going to face is an extremely physical Texas A&M team that looks like a double-headed monster offensively. Quite frankly, they're moving the ball through the air. They're running the ball effectively. I love the running back room. I like some of the pieces that you've got downfield. Love the dual threat quarterback. He adds a whole element to the game with his legs and his arm. That is Mr. Reed. So, uh, look, I mean, you can't flinch if you're Auburn here after taking a loss like that. Um, you got to pick the pieces right back up and jump right back out there.
Yeah.
That's a really tough situation, and I'm not sure how Auburn's going to respond to it. Beyond all that, just the plot set around this game, I'm worried about Auburn offensively just because of the fact that I think they're one dimensional. And whenever you go against a really good defense like this, that like Texas A&M is going to put out there on the field this Saturday, you can't be one dimensional, man. I mean, you've got to have some kind of balance. And Auburn wants to run, 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 and it's going to be tough to do that against Texas A&M anyway. But whenever you don't have a threat to stretch the field, then it makes it that much harder, especially with a defensive minded coach like Mike Elko. He knows what's up, man. I mean, there's no this guy's this guy's sharp on the defensive side of the ball, especially. So Jackson Arnold just is not that guy. He's not, at least he hasn't been yet, a guy that's been able to accurately and consistently stretch the ball down the field. Even though Auburn very clearly has the guys that can do it, um, they haven't been able to do that, and they're going to want to try to pound the rock. And I'm not sure they're going to be able to. Give me Texas A&M to cover this spread here. I think Texas A&M is actually pretty damn good. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Texas A&M has looked really solid so far this year. Surprisingly, they're leading on offense in passing the football, 16th in the country at 323.3 yards per game. A pass first team, and to me, when I look at this game, I'm looking at Auburn. I'm saying, can you stop the big play? Right? Texas A&M so far this year, they're averaging 15.6 yards per completion. That's good for seventh in the country. And then on the flip side, you look at Auburn's defense, they're 92nd in the country, averaging 11.8 yards per completion on defense, right? So, they're giving up a lot of the big plays, in other words. And I'm looking at A&M and wondering, are they going to continue with the explosiveness in the pass game? Love what Le'Veon Moss brings to the run game. Love what Marcel Reed brings to the run game. But make no mistake about it, Texas A&M is a pass first team right now, which is pretty surprising considering they do have a decent defense. And typically, when we see these defensive minded head coaches, they want to run the football, protect the football. I mean, every team would love to run and protect the football, but maybe they don't feel as confident in the run game for whatever reason. Um, it's going to be really interesting, though. You know, do they want to run the football here in this game? Probably not. I mean, Auburn's rush defense has been outstanding. They're averaging giving up 1.9 yards per rush, which is good for third in the country. So once again, if you're not going to run the football, if you're Texas A&M, can you get the explosive plays downfield? We'll have to wait and see. Auburn's got a pretty decent secondary, so they could kind of change things and just try to keep the ball in front of them in this game, limit the explosive plays, and maybe that works. On the flip side, you know, you look at what Jackson Arnold did last week, and actually he had pretty comparable numbers to Mateer from the game last week. Difference is he got sacked 10 times, but a lot of that had to do with what they were trying to do and playing from behind, having to pass the football a ton. It really kind of changed things up. And while I don't think that this is a world beating SEC offensive line, I don't think that they're extremely incompetent. And then you look at Texas A&M's defense, and they really haven't done a whole lot. They're giving up 139 yards per game rushing, and passing they're giving up 211, which is not terrible. But I mean, this is a team that's in the middle of the pack across the country on defense, which is very surprising. So I've got this game being a little bit higher scoring. I like the over 52.5 in this game. I think Texas A&M wins it, but I'm not ready to bet the -6.5. A touchdown sounds about right. I could see this being a 3 or 4 point win though for Texas A&M.
Yeah, absolutely. I could definitely see that. Um, it's funny. We're all these games, the over under set at 52.5 that we're talking about: Alabama, Georgia, Oregon, Penn State, and Auburn, Texas A&M, and even LSU, Ole Miss is right there around 52.5. Some kind of parlay. I don't believe in parlays. I mean, if you just want to burn money, play parlays, but um, just parlay all four overs, right, in those
Yeah.
games, and maybe win you some money. That would be a fun little $10 thing to try out there. Be like hitting the lottery, winning that sucker. That you got about the same chances, but still, I see a lot of overs hitting this week, and I see that being a possibility in this one. But you know what? I will say this: Auburn's defense surprised me a bit against Oklahoma. Now we've talked about Oklahoma maybe kind of had their B game going, and I think that's a sign of a good team if you can go out there with your B game and win, especially in conference like that. But maybe Auburn's defense is a little better than what I thought they were to start the season. We're going to see this weekend because they're going to be tested for sure. Y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and come and hang out with us, all you Auburn, Texas A&M fans. Thanks for watching.